All right, so we're back with another deep dive.
Yes, we are.
This time, we're going to be looking at some
Uh,
deleted tweets and a little bit of a public back and forth
yeah.
between two of the biggest names in Afrobeats.
Mhm.
We're talking about Wizkid and Davido.
Yeah. These two I think are pretty interesting to look at.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, like when I think about Afrobeats, I mean, they're kind of the two
Yeah.
biggest names.
Definitely. I think they're kind of...
I mean, would you say at the top?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you were to kind of compare them to American artists,
Yeah.
you could almost think of them as like the Jay-Z and Kanye of Afrobeats.
Yeah.
But it seems like recently things have gotten a little bit
Spicy. Yeah.
spicy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're here to dive into today.
Absolutely. So where should we start? I mean,
Well, I think the best place to start is with these tweets,
Okay.
these deleted tweets, because that's really where the drama kind of kicked off.
yeah, that's fair.
And there's one quote in particular that really kind of jumped out at me.
Okay.
And I think it really kind of set the tone for this whole back and forth.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so in one of his now deleted tweets, Wizkid said, and I quote, "The only time you're 001 is when you're in your house. You're not 001 of nothing but Instagram followers. Cheap guy. Everything about you screams cheap."
Wow.
So
Yeah, I mean, he did not hold back at all.
no, he did not hold back. And it's that term cheap
Yeah.
that I think is really kind of at the heart of this.
Oh, yeah, because it's not just like about being, frugal or whatever.
Right. It's deeper.
It's like you're fake.
Yeah. And especially in the context of Nigerian music culture, where wealth and status are often seen as kind of like a marker of
Yeah.
success.
Right.
Calling someone cheap is a pretty serious diss.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think a lot of people who maybe aren't as familiar with the Afrobeat scene, they might hear that and think,
That's the big deal.
yeah, like, what's the big deal?
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that.
Absolutely.
And then there's also that term 001,
Right.
which, again, some people might not be familiar with.
Yeah.
But that's basically like saying the top,
The goatee.
yeah, the go, yeah.
Yeah.
The best in the game.
Yep.
And so when Wizkid says to Davido, the only time you're at 001 is when you're in your house.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically saying that Davido's whole public image
Is a lie.
is a facade. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that those two things combined
Right.
really kind of make this
It's cutting.
it's a much deeper cut.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think? I mean, do you think he's being serious?
Right.
Or do you think it's just...
Is this just a publicity stunt, or is this like
Yeah.
genuine anger and frustration?
Right.
Because I think about someone like Kanye,
Mm-hmm.
who's had very public struggles with, the pressure of fame and that constant scrutiny.
Yeah.
And I wonder, is that something that Wizkid is maybe
Grappling with, too.
grappling with too? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard to say, for sure what's going on in his head.
Right.
But I think it's definitely possible that he's feeling the heat.
And I think it makes you think about
Yeah.
the role of social media.
Oh.
Because on one hand, it gives these artists this huge platform.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it also like amplifies these conflicts.
Like a megaphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just kind of blows everything up.
Yeah. And then you add in, the whole parasocial relationship
Oh, yeah.
that fans have with celebrities.
And how quickly things can spiral.
Yeah. And it's like, it's hard to know what's real and
Yeah.
what's performance anymore.
And what's going to get a reaction?
Exactly.
Because, I mean, some people have said that this whole thing is just a publicity stunt,
Mm-hmm.
like a calculated move to generate buzz.
Yeah. But it's like, if it is,
Yeah.
it's a pretty risky move.
Yeah, because the backlash has been huge.
Oh, yeah.
And people are not holding back.
No, and especially from what I've seen, like a lot of the reaction has been very negative towards Wizkid.
Yeah, a lot of people are calling it an unprovoked attack.
Yeah.
And there are even some fans who are like expressing concern for his mental well-being.
Right. Like they're saying,
Yeah.
take a break.
Yeah, focus on your health.
Focus on yourself.
Yeah, step away from social media.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's definitely been interesting to see
Yeah.
how the public has reacted.
And I think it speaks to like a larger conversation that's happening
Right.
about mental health and the pressures of fame.
Yeah, and also about like, the responsibility that comes with having
Yeah.
a huge platform.
Absolutely.
Because this isn't just about Wizkid and Davido.
Right.
This is something that could potentially have ripple effects
Yeah.
throughout the whole Nigerian music industry.
It could impact everything.
Yeah, think about like collaborations,
Yeah.
record deals.
Yeah. Right.
Even the
Yeah.
reception of their future music
Exactly.
is like this kind of public feud can cast a shadow,
Yeah, for
be
sure.
sure, over everything.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, if this kind of rivalry is ultimately productive or destructive.
Right, because if you look at music history,
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of examples of rivalry.
Yeah, like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah, and sometimes those rivalries can push artists,
To be more creative.
to make better music.
Yeah, but there's
Okay.
a fine line,
Well,
because if it gets too personal, it
Yeah.
can really derail careers.
Yeah.
And it can even, end in tragedy.
Absolutely. And I think what I find so interesting about this whole situation is how much the Nigerian public is engaged with it. It's not just gossip.
Right.
It's actually sparking these really important conversations about mental health, about the pressures of fame, about, the power dynamics in the music industry.
For sure.
And I think that's something that's really valuable.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It really is. And I think it leaves us with some questions,
Yeah.
Like, can rivalries ever be truly productive?
Yeah.
Or are they ultimately destructive?
Yeah.
And how do we navigate these kinds of conflicts in a way that's both honest and responsible?
Especially in an era where everything plays out on social media.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, there are a lot of layers to this.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think we all just want to see Wizkid and Davido,
Yeah.
channel this energy into something positive.
Making more music.
Yeah, making more music.
Yeah.
Keep pushing the boundaries of Afrobeats.
For sure.
And hopefully find a way to, maybe even collaborate again someday.
That would be amazing.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this deep dive.
Awesome.
We'll be back soon with another one.
Sounds good.
Until then, take care.
See ya.
All right, bye.